What you play in the background day?
I just got a nice little playlist for us. You hip to Mine Omari?
Say it again?
You hip to Mine Omari?
Nah, just play. I ain't tripping, bro. I don't got yeah, I ain't got no preference today.
Got a vibe. It's a nice little vibe. What's good to the family, man? We here. The COSMIC Weathermen are here. Yeah, man, it's me, Honcho, and the HoodMystic. You know, I'm not Honcho, but that's Honcho. I'm the HoodMystic. We the COSMIC Weathermen here with another episode. This episode 8, Honcho. I'm gonna start numbering them joints. So
yeah, appreciate that. I just need to hear that.
Yeah. Give me some volume though, big bro.
Okay, one second. Let me get you straight.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
For sure, I can hear you.
Bet. That's right.
No doubt, man. So yeah, man, what we do is we deal with the astrology, man. We go planet by planet, transit by transit, give 2 different views on it, and hopefully you can take from what we discussing. We're gonna talk about the past, present, and the future, and just how this thing is playing out. Without further ado, man, we gotta bring light to Shireen and her 1-page guides. The link is in the description. The last one that dropped is on crystals and stones, so be sure to check those out, only for $1. Also join our email list as well. Very soon, very soon, we'll be dropping our first meditation, so be on the lookout for that. Very soon, we'll be having a website in play. Be on the lookout for that. Manipulating the Matrix in stores now. Learn how to read astrology charts easily and effectively in stores now. Honcho, what you got going on, brother?
Man, I got some new shit coming out, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I got a whole series of things coming out. I want to show people what my life look like, for real. So I'm gonna let people in and see what that looks like. See what it looks like to find value. That's what I'm gonna say. See what it look like to find value. Also got some. We'll probably start doing some daily tarot readings with the astrology as well. That's coming soon. So just kind of give people an idea of what their day is looking like and what they should be focused on throughout the day. I use tarot daily, nightly, shit throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Use the astrology at like English. So I think it'll be really interesting for me and my partner to bring some things to you and to the world, so they can kind of see how we live and see how we function. So got some good things coming, man. We'll talk more about it as we go, though.
No doubt. So you ready to hop up into this astrology, bro?
Let's go.
Sure. So the first transit aspect planets we're gonna be discussing is Sun. The Sun, which is entering into Sagittarius, trying the Moon, which is in Cancer. It's also trying in Mars, and it's also conjunct Jupiter throughout the week. For me, the Sun moving into Sag is really aligning your path. You know, things are really gonna start moving forward. Even if you've been putting into work and things haven't been clicking the way you think that they should be clicking, but you still pressing along, your actions and your material in alignment is going to catch up. So don't be weary or don't toil. Just understand you manipulate in your matrix. You manifest in your life by your actions. And once the universe catches up, or the metaverse catches up to your actual actions, then that direction and all of that is going to come into full alignment, you know. And I'll just stop there. What you got for the Sun entering into Sag, Honcho?
Well, Sun entering into Sag. Sun likes to be in fire signs, of course. You know, so I see this as like broad movement, like taking your higher knowledge and the stuff that you've learned over the retrograde period, the stuff that you've learned the last time the moon was in Leo, and really taking it and utilizing it, taking your actions and being wise with them, utilizing all of the higher knowledges and wisdoms that you have, which goes back to what I was talking about with what we talking about offering soon. Just like I use tarot in my everyday life, I use astrology in my everyday life. It's something that I practice, but everybody else may not be. But you may have learned tarot and astrology by listening to us. So if that's the case, then maybe now it's time for you to start practicing that into your everyday life and utilizing that in your consciousness and what you're aware of, and being aware of the synchronicities that you deal with daily. That's what I got for it. But the sun is trining a lot of things, and
true.
So
it's trining the moon and Mars.
Yeah, trining the moon. So with the sun's trine to the moon, I got learning that you love and that you're supported. So this goes back to that. If you're dealing with people if you're dealing with the people that you're supposed to be around now, kicking it with your tribe, talking to people that you can relate to, like those people are going to support what you're about. Those people are going to be interested in what you're about. The universe is working with the emotional states of being and our consciousness and what we're aware of. So like with the trine, like you could take your emotional state, you could take your actions, you could take what you're aware of, and you could talk to somebody about it, and they can relate to you and understand and hear you and feel you, versus you bringing a subject up that they don't understand. And they, somebody give you that look. You know what I mean? What you got?
For me, like you saying, just getting into a space of like being receptive to your world, dealing with the moon and Neptune rule Cancer, is like being aware of your psychic emotional world. You know what I'm saying? And being in tune with that is very personal. And so it might require you to step away from things that you really used to, and then to get into a space where you don't gotta argue with people. You don't gotta go back and forth with people, because you know what's true to you, based upon your personal imagination, based upon your personal paradigm. Because it could be a relationship, it could be a career, and they telling you only gonna be a janitor. You only gonna be the F-boy that I call you. You know what I'm saying? You only gonna be this type of person. But within your imagination, within your own personal life sphere, you might want to be a business owner. You might want a relationship that caters to your personal needs, and so forth and so on. So as if you represent a trine to Moon and Mars, that's a subconscious action that maybe you don't fully understand as we move into this quantum realm, but it's really based upon your personal imagination. And so friends and people that you talk to, they disagree with you wholeheartedly. All right, I'm gonna have to cut you off, right? Because it ain't about coming to a consensus all the time. You know what I'm saying? Especially about your life path, which the sun in Sagittarius is all about. So if it's a lot of things, existential things disrupting that path, then you gonna be thrown off, and just representing the sun moving into Jupiter into a conjunction later into the week, you really talking about a cosmic alignment. And these cosmic alignments, they really represent your intentions that you put in 2-3 months ago, a month ago. You know what I'm saying? And now that you put them intentions in, they catching up. So it could be positive intentions, it could be negative intentions. You just gotta be mindful of what you putting in. So that's kind of where I'm at with this whole Sun, Trine, Moon, Mars, Jupiter thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna add to that just a little bit,
Go
man.
ahead.
For those, like, man, if anybody's in a needy situation, you know what I mean? If you're in a place where you need help, or you need assistance, or you need guidance, or you need information, like if you're in a needy situation, not a want. This is not about the wants. It's about needs. Reach out to people, man. Like, reach out to somebody. Ask somebody close. Ask somebody that's in your tribe. Talk to somebody that you can relate to, because right now the energy is allow people to help others with their needs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really a time to help others with their needs. Speaking on that trine, staying with the moon and speaking with the trine of Mercury, we're dealing with ideas, all ideas. You know what I'm saying? Mercury's still in Scorpio, so we pulling out deep ideas, of course, but like the ideas are free flowing, and we can express them really, really well because we have the sun trine to the moon. So the ideas, talking to people, asking about needs, like really being communicative and open to communicating with people, the people that you can be aware that they're on your same level. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go talk to somebody, of course, that you can't relate to.
Right.
This is really one of them things. Like, it's a trine. So, you know, go talk to somebody that got the same sign or same element as you. That's where you want to keep your energy. You know, take the fire energy and go talk to a fire sign. Take the earth energy and go talk to an earth sign, etc., because that's where you're gonna get that support that you need. That's where you'll get the cooperation that you're looking for. You know what I mean? With the Mercury trine to the moon, like, cooperative projects is on fleek right now, bro. You can get anything done, and people have more compassion and more understanding, and to communicate and to come to a solid agreement so they can move forward together.
No doubt. And so moving to, like you said, moon trine Mercury, to piggyback off what you were saying, like, water seeks its own level. You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta really look at your surroundings and see, like, okay, am I on this level right now? Or do I want to rise, you know? And so generally the sun in Sagittarius is speaking to a rise. And then there was a comment that referenced, you know, the sun being in Capricorn, but that's in like Western astrology. But we discuss the Vedic side of things that deal with kind of the actual placement. So not to be confusing, but to be more accurate, we're going to reference, you know, the moon being in Cancer and then Mercury being in Scorpio. So those are two water signs, right? So water seeks its own level, you know, and just to kind of tie back into the sun trine moon, is really the best you. And a lot of us have responsibilities and things that we signed up for that we're not giving our best version of ourselves to. And so in order to actually do that, we got to come to that conclusion within. So a lot of these things that we discussing on the internals is really valuable. And if we're going to discuss astrology, you got to discuss it on a way that it affects you at an eternal level. How does it motivate you? Are you thinking about connecting with others? All right, how you actually going to do that? You know what I'm saying? What is the actual play? You know what I'm saying? Put yourself out there, man. Personally, I put myself out there a lot. You know, a lot of times I say no. A lot of times people tell me no, but then a lot of times people tell me yeah. You feel me? So it's all about relationships. It's all about messaging people. It's all about leveraging who you are and getting your point across, man. So I encourage everybody to reach out, talk to people, reach out to me, reach out to Honcho, reach out to Sheree, reach out to Mama Mystic. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we all just regular people. We out here trying to connect, as you can see.
We connected, as you can see.
That's a fact.
For sure. This is our relationship stemmed from almost 3 years ago. So we definitely connected, and this is a perfect time to do so. So I got, man, we up next. We gonna keep it rolling, man, so we can be efficient today. You know, today's about efficiency. So I got Venus. We on Venus. Venus just jumped into Capricorn. And I think we were talking about this earlier. You know, taking your taking your values and, you know, what you love or what you like or what you want to be around, what you want to associate yourself with. Like, take it, and if you found a new love while Venus was in Sagittarius, like taking all of that energy, the new love, the old love, the love that you got, the energy that you are producing for valuable things, taking that energy and looking at it, sitting on it, planning, trying to figure out where you're gonna place it 6 months from now, a year from now, trying to see how all of this new love energy that we've all been gifted with, these new values, the new, you know, things that we find beautiful, taking all of this energy and planning it out to see how it's going to coincide with the life that you're living now. Like we discussed earlier, it's time to put all of your wisdom into your life. So if I'm putting all my wisdom into my life, that's going to go into my love life, that's going to go into my relationships, and it's going to go into how I relate to people. You know, now I may have used to relate it, you know, very aggressively, but now because I'm aware, I'm a little bit more aware of myself, I'll tune that aggression down a little bit, and I'll relate a little more meek. You know, I'll be more meek instead of, even though my aggression is my natural shit, it's how I naturally relate. I naturally turn on the fire. You know, it may not I may not need to turn on the fire like a fireplace. I may just need to light it like a lighter. So, and just take that awareness that I have about myself and implement it into a relationship. When I'm related with me, you and I are related. You know, it's just a way in which we should communicate. Instead of me using like I said, once again, the fire aggression, I use my earth. And me and you can have a solid conversation on things that make sense. Earth. So this is really just taking the time to bring everything that you've learned now, because now the new things that you've learned is valuable to you. It should be valuable. And planning them out on how you're going to work. Like, are you going to get up now and do your meditation every morning? Am I going to do these tarot cards? You know what I'm saying? Am I going to read the astrology? Doing these things and planning these things out and putting them into your life. That's where we at with it, with Venus and Capricorn.
No doubt. And because, like, I guess Venus and Capricorn, I always reference how it represents the beginnings of manifestation, out of alchemy, out of planning, out of realizing, now what are you gonna do, you know? And so a lot of us within the first understandings of Earth, whether it's in Taurus or Virgo, we deal with those particular Earth signs with difficulty or some form of, like, you know, trying to figure it out or being diligent or patient and all of these particular things, because we don't necessarily know, because we don't understand the Scorpio transformation that's ahead of us. So as you go through this transformation and now you realize what you truly want, you begin to build upon this. And this is how you build upon solid foundation versus just simply building on, you know, what you think or what you wish for or what you hope or what you even believe. You know, it's just based upon what you tore down, what you've broken down within yourself to realize, okay, this is my truth. You know, a lot of people will be like, well, I don't necessarily know what I want. I don't necessarily know what I want to intend for. You know, that requires alchemy. And then you gotta break down everything and get to your primal childlike self, you know, get to that real love and then create from that space. Because as you grow and, you know, move forward into this energy, you're going to be proud of the decisions that you made that came through out of love, out of truth, you know. So we didn't really touch on Mercury square Neptune, but real quick, self-doubt, insecurity, all of that shit don't align with what's going on today, you know. It don't work. So if you got that going on, I don't think I can make it. I don't know how strong I am. I ain't never had, and all of that type of shit. When we dealing with the quantum, you gonna manifest that shit at an exponential rate. So just be careful.
Absolutely. I got on the Mercury square Neptune. Like, Neptune is like, once again, our reality. And like we was talking earlier, Mercury's behind the sun trying to catch up. So this is like taking all of your thinking and communicating and extremely as fast as you can, trying to implement it into the reality now. Because now you know where the sun is. Now you know what the moon is. Now you know what it does. Now you know how to, like, meditate. You know when you see 1111, that's a confirmation on whatever you was thinking. Now you know what I'm saying, you have these things, and so now you got to use this into the reality. Put this into the social media. Put this into who you are. Like, this is a square is action. You know what I'm saying? Taking action. Like, you got to learn from this shit. So the only way you're going to learn that, oh, it was good for me, implementing all of the new things that I've learned. The only way you learn that is by taking action with it. You can have all the knowledge in the world and never done nothing.
True.
Or you can have all of the knowledge in the world that you actually worked. Like, you implemented into your life. You implemented the action. You implemented the new things. You implemented all of these new profound ideas that you've acquired. And you've instilled them into your reality, Neptune.
No doubt. I agree. And speaking of implementation, as we move along, I'm going to reference Mars going into the final placement of Libra, going into Scorpio, sextile Saturn and Pluto, which is in Sagittarius, and also trine Neptune. So for me, it's me and you, we kind of had different things, but I guess it's kind of different but the same, basically. For me, it's more or less of having the documentation that represents where you headed, and that could be as simple as jotting some things on a notepad, or as extreme as a business plan, a grant, a petition, you know, all of these things that we wish to enact and we wish to change about our lives. But if they just remain in the mental space of Libra, they're not going to be able to be anchored down as we go into Scorpio. So generally the things that we write, the things that we truly feel as they move into Scorpio will be tested. But then again, we'll find value in what we're being tested on. So, you know, if you really want it and you think you really want it, do yourself a favor by writing it down, at least to escape it out of, you know, the beings of air, because it might get lost at sea as we go through Scorpio. And a lot of things, you know, a lot of times I write things down, come back to them 2 months later, I manifested them without even realizing that I was even working towards manifesting, because I wrote it down. So I'm just in that space, you know, not because I'm putting out books or we putting out books that initiate you to write things down, but based on the astrology alone. So what you got?
Well, to touch on what you were saying, yeah, it is about getting your paperwork in order. That is definitely a way to look at it. You know, if we just left Venus, or if it's relationships, divorces, separations, if it's, you know, shit, if you in a relationship, if it's a marriage, you know what I'm saying, marriage certificate, whatever. If you in a business, if it's a DBA, LLC. I just recently helped someone incorporate their company that is a strong supporter of you. Shout out to the Chicken Wing King in Chicago, man. Like, that's big, you know, taking the necessary steps to start those businesses and actually get that paperwork in order. But this is also what I was looking at, a way to, you know, make that move too. Like, Saturn sextile Mars, like making the move to create the new boundaries that you got. Like, actually, if you're in that bad relationship, get the fuck out. If you want that person, go talk to them. Go make something happen. Like, if you want that business, get your ass out of the house, go walk to the courthouse, get that DBA, get online, get that LLC, whatever it is that you're trying to do. It's time to do it. Not just look about it and talk about it. We done talking. We was talking 2 weeks ago. We was talking a month ago. We're out of the talking. Now, it's just like when we were writing the book. We did a lot of talking. We shared a lot of ideas. You know what I'm saying? We was really on some Moon trine Mercury shit. But then it got to a point where it's like, all right, we screen sharing. And today and throughout the rest of this week, when we meet, we're going to meet on this book. And while you screen sharing, we going to write, you're going to type, we going to talk, and we're going to get this thing done until it's complete. That's where we at with it. It's time to get your ass up and get it done until it's complete. Whatever it is that you've been working on. So it's, for me, you know, like I said, I'm an Aries, so I'm really keen to action. But this energy is like, yeah, like, move. Time to move. You utilize what you have to move. Utilize the communication energy that we have to make a move. You know what I'm saying? Making a move may not necessarily be you doing something. It could be you making a call for somebody else to do something. But make a move. That's what I got.
I'm going to say one more thing to that. Because it's like you referencing making a move. And so you got Saturn, Pluto, Venus in that Sagittarian realm. And then you got Mars sextile to that. And Mars in Libra really represents partnerships. Partnerships is one of the major themes of Libra. Libra rules the 7th house, you know what I'm saying? So the house of marriages, the house of partnerships. So if this energy is then reflected upon Venus, which is the planet of love, and then you have Pluto and Sagittarius, which is literally breaking down barriers, really aligning past lives and future lives. And so what really results is the twin flame. So within that actual predicament we find ourselves in, are we moving towards our twin flame, or are we just kind of staying stuck? And if you stay in a particular place where you're not in the realm of your twin flame, you fooling yourself, because you can get all the money in the world, you could be the VIP CEO, president, and be critically acclaimed all over the planet, whatever, so forth. If you ain't got that person that you laying in the bed with that is your better half, then you gonna be incomplete. And so a lot of people don't like that kind of discussion because they don't feel like it's valid or it's available. But I don't get on here and talk about nothing besides love. Love is a primary force for everything that I fucking do. So partnerships and building that, if that ain't your stick, then I ain't your stick. You feel me? Like, anybody around me, they gotta be moving towards love. You feel me? Because we ain't come on this bitch by ourselves. So we gotta realize that partnerships play a major role in this development of psychic senses, because we can't be so spiritually advanced but can't stand one another. You feel me? So I just wanted to kind of just spoke to me about the actual transit as you was talking.
Well, yeah, I'm living it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I truly believe that I didn't know too much about twin flames until we had conversations about it. But like, I definitely believe that I'm living that life. Personally, drawing in what you would call a twin flame, or being in a situation where you actually have the love that you're looking for. You actually dealing with the person that is right for you. So we're gonna talk more to this as time progresses, but this shit is real. Like, if everybody's discussing like missing out on love, or missing out on having that partner, or missing out on having that connection with somebody, damn it, you got to do something about it, because nothing's gonna happen staying in the same spot, sitting in the same relationships, and being with the same people. If there is somebody different out there for you, you got to take the necessary steps to go get it.
And somebody had just said, did I say that we didn't come here by ourselves? We came here by ourselves, but it wasn't the result of one person. It took our mama and daddy to make sweet love, under a sycamore tree. And maybe you was a test tube baby and all of that, but for the most part, that's like 0.00035% of the population. So for the most part, people is fucking, okay? And that's how you got here. So don't ever get that confused. That's my personal opinion.
Straight up,
I'm just saying. All right, bro, let's move on, man. Efficiency.
Who's that?
Jupiter.
Okay.
Go ahead. Jupiter trying Uranus, man. So
since we still on Mars, I did have to want to speak to Mars one more, because Mars got a trine to Rahu.
Mm-hmm.
And this is be aware of the sensitive messages and that you receive from higher forces, that you receive from like the powers that be, that help you move forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, prime example, we were talking a little bit earlier about like synchronicities. Be aware of that. That shit is going on everywhere. And I hear a lot of people bring up like, man, I saw these numbers, or numerology and things like that.
Facts.
Hey, don't just see the numbers. Google what it means. And once you find out what it means, let that sit with you and utilize that as a message. You know what I'm saying? Spirit talks to us on the outside and the inside. So like, take the inner inclinations that you have to just look at different synchronicities, and then take your outer resources like your cell phone to research the shit, so you'll know what it is. So you'll have your own inner guidance on what to do next. And that's just Mars trying Rahu. Giving us a little perspective on how to take our drive and put it towards our destiny.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. I agree, man. And also like things like looking up Bible concordances for numbers, like putting in a number, then type in like concordance, it give you some insight. Gematria, so you can go to gematrix.org, put in that number, and you'll get a whole slew of words that align with that number, see what resonates with you. But these numbers be communicating specific messages, so you'll be scrolling and you'll see a word that's like, oh shit, that's the same word that I heard the other day, and now I'm seeing 1111, so that word must be what 1111 mean, and you gonna hold that shit within your heart, and that's what it is. That's how you do those numbers. You gotta figure them numbers out for you, because there's gonna be some stuff on the internet that help you, but then keep searching, keep building till you figure out the connections. That's what I would say too.
Yeah, I'm with it. Now let's move on.
Man. Jupiter trine Uranus. So for me, I got Jupiter kind of playing the role as the magician, and Uranus kind of playing the role as, you know, the tower, if we reference in tarot cards. So within the tower is things being torn down, but if you the magician, like representing that Jupiter energy, then you can create. So a lot of times when you want to create a new state-of-the-art building, you don't build upon nothing raggedy. You tear that thing down and you build up from the ground up. So from there, you have more control, more power, more prestige when it's all said and done, as opposed to just trying to do things that other people have done. Uranus is in a fire sign, Jupiter is in a fire sign, so that's destructive energy, but we using that destructive power for good and allowing positive things to manifest. So that's basically what I got for that.
Yeah, I got expect sudden opportunities, like sudden, real sudden. Like, damn, I've been waiting on this, you know what I'm saying, for this one opportunity my whole life, and now it's here, and it came so fast and so easy. You can expect sudden opportunities. Also, I got psychic and intuitive abilities. This is Jupiter in fire. This Uranus in fire. We seeing whatever we want to see. Whatever your mind can perceive, you can see. And the abilities are strong, and they live, and they in effect. So this is like, if you can see ahead of time, if you can see a vision, or if you can see a future that is possible for you, go get it. You know what I mean? Because you can see it. We got the trine. You got higher knowledge planet. You got uniqueness and originality and rebellious planet. Both of them working together to bring you to wherever you're trying to go. So take those psychic abilities and the intuitive abilities, the awareness, like you said, with the numbers, the psychic abilities, being able to feel people and feel the circumstances. Some people can feel danger. Feel that shit. Move. You know what I'm saying? If you can see bullshit, see the bullshit and move away from it. You know what I mean? Like, this has all been about moving. We in transit right now. This is not a stuck time at all. Nothing is fixated outside of Mercury and it's moving. So this is a time to really take that energy and move with it. You know what I'm saying? Take your psychic abilities, go outside. If you see a certain animal, pay attention to it. These things are giving you messages, and you're not having these intuitive realizations for no reason. There is reason behind it. So take the time to learn from it. Take the time to move on it. Take the time to make it become awareness in you, and then utilize it in your everyday life. Plant that shit inside of your subconscious so it can be a part of your habitat.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, man, planting those seeds and dealing with, you know, how they manifest, they gonna take up more space than what they was at that seed, right? So you plant that little bitty seed and it grows naturally. That's a disruptive force, but we call it, you know, beneficial, you know. So allowing these changes to happen ain't also bad when you really think about it. It might be, you know, a fruit that's gonna be beneficial to you in the future. So yeah, man, definitely powerful build. Finally, man, we move into the last spot. Saturn sextile Neptune conjunct, and Saturn is also conjunct Pluto. What you got for that? And I'll just kind of follow up.
Saturn sextile Neptune, opportunity to place them boundaries on a new reality. But the conjunction of Pluto is the foundation, it has been torn down. So now you get to take all of your new illusion with your torn foundation and rebuild your reality and rebuild the boundaries and limits that you put on yourself and expand yourself past where you thought with the Jupiter Uranus conjunction. So like, this is really it's like, man, like you said, like having a building or a foundation that had a building on it, tearing that shit down and coming to it like, you know what? You know, when we had this building didn't have no AC in it. So this time we put AC in the building. When we had the building, you know what I'm saying, we didn't have no lights on the outside of the building. We had lights only on the inside. So we're going to have lights on the inside, lights on the outside, lights in the bathroom. We're going to have lights everywhere. You know what I'm saying? This is like the Neptune giving you all the new things. We're going to have water running through the building, all of that. And we're going to build this brand new building with this foundation that we've already torn down. This is tearing down the building and rebuilding. This is what that is.
No doubt. Because it's like still Neptune is coming off a retrograde and just kind of picking up steam. And as it picks up steam, it's going to realize that it's in Aquarius, and it's just like the Aquarian age again. Like, you know what I'm saying? It could have been like some reality. Like you felt this initial urge to be super spiritual and magical, and then Neptune went retrograde, and it's like, oh shit, maybe I, false started, maybe I went too far, and then it goes direct again, and now it's like, oh shit, that shit that I was on a year ago, 2 years ago, I'm back on that shit again. So it's a real spiritual understanding that now that this thing is kicked back up, now that we realize a thing that's real, the Aquarian age is a mental quantum reality. So we talk about all of this type of shit, and not to say like, we just blowing hot air, but I really hope that y'all manifest in a life that you truly want to live, and you using it in the mental space, in the emotional space, in the active space. And Saturn sextile Neptune is putting some finite structure to a fantasy, structure to alternate reality that personally suits your greater good. You feel me? And that's some new stuff, conjunct Pluto. It's like transformation. So transformation of the most physical kind. And if you able to say, something is telling me, I was just listening to Kamani on Love Live Life on the Sunday service, and I clicked in right on the point where he was saying how something was telling him to move to Atlanta. And he ain't know what was telling him to move to Atlanta, but something was just telling him, and he ain't question that shit. And something telling me to move to Atlanta. I don't know what. Like, I'm sitting here thinking like, I don't know, but I'm just telling everybody like I'm moving to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I feel that. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm putting fillers out, but
our people in ATL, buddy, we can do some stuff out there.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, that's where I'm led to go. You feel me? So this is how this shit is affecting me in real terms. I'm inclined to do some shit that, I wasn't inclined to do this shit 2 months ago, but a year ago, I was planning on moving to Atlanta. You feel me? But, I got into Neptune retrograde, maybe Columbus, but now it's like, it's direct now. Now it's time to move forward now and create the world in Atlantis. You feel me? So when I move to Atlanta, family, is no longer going to be called Atlanta. We changing that joint to Atlantis. Y'all forewarned. You feel me?
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna come visit you in Atlantis, then.
That's a fact.
Let me know when you going, and we gonna make that happen.
That's a fact.
Got family in Atlantis.
That's a fact, man. So,
hey, was there any questions? Did anybody have any questions while we on here? We want to answer whatever you got for the week. If you think if you got a question about what you should do, how you should go about it, it's the perfect time to ask. I think we both feeling kind of good.
And while because it's a kind of like a lag while they hear that question, just speak on manipulating the matrix from your personal experience one time.
My personal experience after writing the book became real to me, like Jumanji, bro. Mm-hmm. Like we jumped into the book and it became my real life. The new moon in Scorpio sent me on a journey with a person, and the full moon in Taurus, I was able to bring things together with that person. And I mean, that person is working together very, very well on the future of where we see things. So everything we talk about in our transits today really is attested to my own personal life, because I'm living an entirely different life than I was when we first started this shit. Mm. And this has everything to do with just taking advantage of the opportunities that have been laid in front of me. I'm a Taurus sun when we're talking tropical. So my lower nature, I have a way of just being chilled and not taking no action unless it's time for me to be stubborn about it. But because I'm taking the necessary steps to be aware that, okay, when the universe sends me something, I gotta jump on it and be aware of it. When I'm planting seeds because I want love, or when I'm planting seeds because I want to be appreciated, or whatever the shit it is I'm looking for personally, instead of me putting that energy out and voicing that energy outward, I just start working on that with myself. I start putting that into me, and then magnetically, the transformation that happened from within, I start to pull in what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. So instead of me going outside to look for it, that shit showing up to the door. Shit is crazy. This book and my experience with this book and how I've lived this book has caused me to be in a space where, soon I'll be able to show the world exactly how, moon cycles work in real life, and how you can not just manifest things, but you can manifest love and people, and manifest good relationships, and manifest, whatever your fucking heart desires. You know what I mean? Like, whatever your heart desires. So the book for me, outside of it being the first book I've ever written, outside of it being the first project I've ever worked with a group of people that we all came together randomly, like this, all of this shit is first things for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Entrepreneur, I run businesses all day, but this is different, and this is me living my true authenticity, like me following my destiny, not caring about how I'm perceived, not giving a fuck about what people think, but doing exactly what's good for this right here, for mm-hmm. me. Because if I die, I got to deal with that. Mm-hmm. When I'm sad, I got to deal with that. When I'm hurt, I got to deal with that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to die too soon. I don't want to be sad, and I don't want to be hurt. So the only way I can live this life I want to live is if I start taking action towards not being those things and detaching myself away from the things that are causing that pain, hurt, and sorrow. Mm-hmm. So this book has been real for me, bro. Real. And I'm gonna be honest, I can't wait to share with the world the blessings that come from following your heart's desires.
No doubt. Real life Jumanji type of deal, instead of watching a movie, you can actually live it and really jump into your avatar. Because really, you communicating from a spiritual level to your avatar, basically. When you particularly manipulate the matrix from the moon, a lot of our original conversations and background, because we did hella research and hella background, me and Honcho really sat back and wrote like 25 pages just on the moon as research for this book. You know what I'm saying? Just to simplify it and give it to you guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like we just throwing it out there and just putting out a book. Like, if you haven't manifested with the moon, if you haven't specifically did a journal before sleep and after you woke up and aligned that particular intention, not with like, I want this or I want that, I want this, I want that, but having a particular frequency that you want to align with, whether it's prosperity, whether it's love, whether it's happiness, and saying at night, I'm gonna program myself. In the day, I'm a reflect and continue to program myself. When I get home at night, I'm gonna reflect and I'm gonna program myself. If you haven't done that over a repetitious time, then you can't tell me that this book don't work. But tell me, after you work through it through a 28-day cycle, have you manifested a more prosperous life? Have you manifested love in your life? Have you manifested all of these things? And then from there, we can have a conversation.
Today number 27 for me on this 28-day moon cycle. Tomorrow's 28, no lies. Mm-hmm. Like, this is gonna be one interesting story.
No doubt. And it was a question B1 in my mind. She asks, could you get a good exact astrology reading if you don't know your exact time of birth? The short answer to that question is no. The long answer to that question is I could try to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, the time of your birth is really important to dictating your houses, and your housal relationship to the constellations is kind of a big deal. Novice astrologers can't figure it out, but, I got over, hundreds of readings under my belt. So I gotta kind of sit and work with it and figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? What you say though, Honcho?
I say yes, but based off of what you saying, based off of the fact that, okay, I may not know what your time is, but there are rectification principles that can be used to find in a roundabout. If you know a sibling, we can find in a roundabout. And then let's say we don't even know that shit. Let's say we just know the date. Mm-hmm. Then we can go back to ancient astrology and break you down just based off of dates. But it'll never be house system set up. And if you really want a real full birth reading, you need that house system set up.
That house system is crucial.
That shit is crucial. So it can be done, and you can know a lot about yourself. And once you learn astrology, or whoever you're dealing with, if that person is very, very good at their astrology, they can figure out that ascendant.
Right.
It's hard, but you have to deal with people like Hood, people like myself, to get to a place to work, get to somebody that knows what they're doing, that can talk to you to pull out what time of birth you were born. Because it's there and it's in you, but it's all a matter. It's spiritual. Once we get to a place where we're not accurate no more, it's spiritual. Mm-hmm. So I feel where you are.
Right. And a lot of it is in like body parts, stomach, eyes, knees. All of these things is ruled by astrology. So like
it transpired over a transit.
Right. So thigh problems, headaches, all of these things, recurrent headaches, these could be indication of your rising sign. So like I said, like I done plenty of readings where we figured it out, and then once we be like, okay, you a Scorpio rising, is you like this, and then we'll do a placebo. Is you like this, or this? You know what I'm saying? And then if you choose this, then it's like, okay, more or less you probably a Scorpio rising, but we don't know, but we gonna build off of this because you identify with these particular traits, and we can rock with it. You know what I'm saying? But
I like to use the people that they have in their life. Whoever's in their life, per se, mother, father, boyfriend, husband, child, those things are gonna give me what I'm looking for, or at least give me the relationships to systems. You feel me? And then I'll pull from the different relationships that a person has, and try to bring them to, okay, if your dad is this, and I know Vedically son represents father, you know what I'm saying? So we'll go through the different systems and through the different relationships between the different people surrounding that person to find out what they are. But it can be done, but it is not something that is done overnight.
Right, no doubt. A question Jazz had asked: do we need to finish the natal chart book first? I would say, real quick, the natal chart book is an exercise in mental imagery for your own personal sake. So when you online and you referencing astrological concepts, you dealing with another human being's mental imagery right off the bat. So when you reading and you studying, it's not as clear as you need it to be. The natal chart book, it allows you to see your chart in your mind. You need to exercise your mental imagery. So you don't have to use the natal chart book first, but it's a good exercise. It's a good precursor. It's a good practice to exercising that part of your brain that most people don't exercise. If I tell you like what you have for breakfast, you going to utilize a part of your mental imagery. But a lot of times when I ask you something and you forget, that part of your mental imagery has shut down. Like, damn, I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? So when you really reference that, this is a real power. This is a psychic power. So the natal chart book is good for what it's good for. The manipulating the matrix book is good for what it's good for. It's just based on you and your personal needs. What's up with you though, Honcho?
I would say buy both. Salesman. No, I'm fucking with you. But seriously though,
that's real talk.
Yeah. But you need the natal chart book to reference yourself when you're studying. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to break down, like he explained, it's going to break down you. It's going to teach you. And really, this is you is what matters at the end of the day. You came here by yourself, you're going to die by yourself. So the natal chart book is for you. It's something to keep in your pocket at all times. But when you're doing your work, or when you're trying to manifest, like when you're in the lab, whatever it is you do, whether it's I'm taking care of my kids, I'm cooking dinner, or I'm trying to rack in $1 million. That's what this book is. That's what the moon book is for. How do I bring it in? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like money. Money come from the moon. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like to bring income in. Anything receiving is the moon. So when I'm trying to bring something in, reel something in, I pull out the moon book so that I have the proper tools necessary sitting in front of me to do the work of the moon. Because if I'm trying to receive something, that's moon energy. If I want to know myself, I go grab. Or if I want to clarify something with myself, I'll pull my natal book out. And I'll stick them both there whenever I'm working on my moon stuff. Because I wouldn't work on anything manifestation without knowing myself first, to be honest.
No doubt.
That way, it may not be the best time for you to manifest things practically in the world during this season. It may be best for you to work on your manifestations for the spring, and that may be the best time for you to manifest practical things based off of your natal chart. But if you try to do it and it's against your natal chart, it may not work for you. And you'll notice that by knowing yourself. So I would say grab the natal book first. Always keep that on you. And when it's time to do some work, pull your moon book out, because that's how you bring in what you want.
That's a fact. Somebody had asked the importance of a birthday in that realm of esoterics. My personal opinion is like your birthday is the day where your soul is fully activated and incarnated on this planet. So the cosmic rays that are siphoned through from the higher celestial realms are rained down on this planet. Even speaking of like birthdays, like when his birthday happened, it was September it was September 11th, and when I was at the hospital, I looked up and I just seen all of these angels and lights and laser beams up in the sky. No lie, you know what I'm saying? And it was like his energy was being rained down and harnessed into this little body frame. You feel me? And that's what we all are. We are this immense, magnificent spectacle of cosmic energy. And when we were born, it is condensed into our body, but the birthday is kind of like that actual moment that it happened, and we can kind of catch the reflection of the cosmos on our birthday. And so astrology is a powerful thing in us learning ourselves from that higher, deeper, celestial, cosmic space. And we dealing with planets, but we could go deeper. We can deal with progressions. We could deal with asteroids. We could deal with a whole slew of astrological conversations to get this thing in a full context. It's just if y'all really got the time or the energy to explore that reality.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I got something to say to it too.
Go ahead.
Let me make sure I got the question right.
How important is the birthday?
So I use the birthday, me personally, as a mile marker for the year. We got these charts called solar return charts. The deeper you get into the astrology, you begin to understand that we're all the energies. It's just a matter of, do you know how to use them? Do you know how to cut them on and cut them off? Are you aware of how to use the board or the chart? And so every year when you do have a birth date, you get this chart drawn up, and it gives you the energies that you can focus on for the year. Personally, I take those energies as if they're a birth chart, and I become those energies for the year instead of focusing on this year my sun is in 4 degrees of Taurus, but my moon was in Capricorn. My ascendant was in Scorpio. So I'm a Cancer ascendant, Aries, I'm saying? I have all these energies. This is a totally different chart now. So now instead of me looking at my Aries energy and being fiery, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna be strategic with how I communicate and how I give off my emotional state of being, like Capricorn. Yeah, I still got the same actions for the year, but my ascendant is Scorpio, so you're not gonna get me when you first see me. You're not gonna understand I'm even an astrologer. You don't see that on me because you see Scorpio on me. I embody my solar return chart intentionally to be in the right energy for the entire year. And so as you go up in the levels of learning this, the birthday becomes extremely important because it's a brand new chart that you get every year to figure out what's going to be the year about. What is the year about? The year for me was about 7th house things. The year for you may be about something different, but that mile marker that you get every year gives you an idea of what to focus on. And if you got your focus in the right place, since we're talking about the sun sign, if your attention is in the right place, if you're then you can put your attention towards whatever energy you want, and you can do whatever you want with it. But it's all about your attention and your consciousness and your focus. Are you focused enough to harness the energies that's been gifted to you because it's your solar return?
Right.
Right. Birthdays are extremely important to me.
Very, very important. People turn up on their birthdays and they don't turn up for no reason. You feel me? It's a real cosmic experience. We got 2 questions, bro. I'm gonna read them both. How would we know what season is best for manifesting based off of our chart? And the second question by Apollo is, I have the first question by Supreme Melanoidus, and the second question by Apollo is, I have a question. What made you guys operate from primarily an astrological perspective when some of us on the path may choose to focus on other mediums like Pantheon, Word, etc.? So for that first question, Supreme Melanoidus, the best time to manifest, regardless of your chart, regardless of who you are, regardless of when you was born, is during a new moon, because your melatonin is at its highest, the moon is at its most debilitated form, and we can put our imprint on the moon to bring about manifestation. So that's the simple answer for that question. And the second question, Apollo, I got another simple answer for you. The reason why I personally choose astrology is because it's the most oldest, most scientific, most validated, most accurate form of divination that I personally know and work with. And is it the only thing that I deal with? Absolutely not. But is it something that I think is worthless? Absolutely not as well. You know, when you talk about the Bible, when you talk about everything, when I get into some deep occult metaphysical stuff, you know where it leads me to? Right to astrology. So the reason why I study astrology, because it continues to be valid. And you know, other things, they are valid, but you know, astrology gives me something to talk about and something to build on every week, every day, every month, however you want to do this thing. The moon is valid, so we just on that path. So you got those two questions, bro?
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna go backwards. So to answer Apollo's question, a lot to what Kyrie said, man. I went outside, looked at the planets, and I said, if all electricity was to be cut off right now, what am I going to be focused on? Finding some light. And the only light that I see is the moon. This is my basic understanding like 3 years ago. So why is this so important? And that led me down a rabbit hole of information. So to me, the most important thing in that we can all see is the light outside. Like right now, it's light for everybody outside. If it was dark right now, at what time is it? 2:47 where I'm at, we'd be confused, because a lot of people do not live in places where it stays dark or where it stays light all year round. Not everybody lives there. So just on basic survival method. So everything falls back to astrology, the planets, and what time of the day it is and what time of the night it is, just for survival. So that's how I use astrology. And then to elaborate, astrology is in everything. Mm-hmm. It's in everything. It is everything. So that's why. To go now to go back to Supreme's question. True, I agree with Kyrie. You can manifest anything in utilizing the new moons. Totally. But if you're gonna make it personal, because you got your natal chart book sitting next to you, your second house, your sixth house, and your 10th house is where money is made. Second is your money that you make personally. The sixth house is the service that you render in to make it, and the 10th house is basically what we all can see of how you make it. So I would look at those houses, because those are your earth houses. And if, let's say, you got Taurus in the second house, Virgo in the sixth house, and Capricorn in the 10th. If you want money personally, you need to get income into that second house. So I would plant seeds on new moons based off of how income could flow to my second house, Taurus. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to grow my money based off service-based income, then I would look to Virgo in the sixth house, and I would find out how could I line my new moon cycle up with that Virgo energy in the sixth house so that I can receive income from my services. Or 10th house, Capricorn. We got a eclipse coming up that's extremely big in Capricorn. How can I line my life up to manifest from that new moon solar eclipse, Capricorn, and bring that energy down, and so that it can be in my 10th house, allowing me to receive some income or allowing me to receive a manifestation? And this is just earthly things. You know, you may want a relationship, and that's a whole other situation. You may want a new house. That's a whole nother situation. That's fourth house. So it's just all of these different house systems that are inside of the natal chart is how I use the book to manifest. I find I want to manifest something. If I want to manifest something for my personality, when I look at my Vedic chart, it's Gemini. Or when I look at my Cancer chart, tropical, you know what I'm saying? I'll figure out where I want to go with my personality, and I will line up my manifestations to that specific thing, and I'll manifest from there. If I want to manifest whatever, I'm going to the house system to manifest. So natal chart book, moon book, look at your natal chart and see what house you want to bring something to, and then set up your moon chart. So set up your moon manifestation energy to that, and bring it together.
No doubt. I agree, man. Jazz had asked a question: does astrology keep us present? And if, because it seems being present is important for consciousness. So for me personally, like, we here talking about astrology in a present sense. We utilizing the transits, like what we're talking about, like that's what the placements are right now. You feel me? Like, these are current and present transits, and these things change and they move and they circulate throughout the weeks. And we'll come here every week and we'll talk about the movements of the astrology to keep us present. In reference to present being importance to consciousness, it's supreme. You know, so many times I get caught up in the past, or I get caught up in the future. I just look around at my surroundings. You know, I look at my children, or I look at, you know, whatever, you know, my book, or whatever the case may be, to just be present in that moment. And might look at the work that I need to do, you know, and be present in that. But astrology is how I maintain my presence, you know. So it's not a game when you talk about astrology and consciousness, because a lot of people think that, you know, you don't need to talk about astrology. But until the sun stops rising and falling, until the moon stops going through its phases, then you need to talk about astrology. We the COSMIC Weathermen, and it might sound like a funny play on words, but it's a vital information that we sharing, because astrology is vital information. So it's not like we talking about astrology as some pseudo outside fact. When you deal with these mystery systems, and you deal with these mystery schools, and you deal with this mythology, and you dive deeper, you're gonna find that they talking about astrology. And if you have no awareness of astrology, you're gonna be still trying to figure this shit out. Okay?
Yeah. Well, let me make sure I got Jazz's question right. Present. Okay. Astrology being present. I make no decisions without looking at the planetary time. Period. I scroll down in my phone. There's an app called Planetary Times, and it'll tell me this is Mercury time. So just knowing that it's Mercury time lets me know it's time to communicate. It's time to think. It's time to analyze. When it says it's Venus time, it's time for me to, you know, be on my values and in my relationship and focused on love and that kind of shit. When it's on Saturn time, it's time for me to focus on my boundaries, restrictions, my limits, my money, how I'm relating. You know what I'm saying? And how I'm looked at as far as practical wise. When it's in Jupiter, it's time for me to expand, and do something different. You know, expand my horizons. Every 2 hours, the horizon changes. So there is a consistent flowing movement of time happening. The planets are changing the different energies every hour or two. So knowing the time, you can take that deeper than just saying, okay, I know what the moon is, but I know what the actual what time it is right now. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be more specific with that. Where we at? Planetary time. So it will be Mercury. We in Mercury time right now. We having a conversation about thinking and analyzing and communicating. We talking, we communicating. Y'all are asking questions, analyzing your thoughts, taking your concepts further. This is the whole energy for parts of America, wherever you are. Jazz asked this, so I know that Chicken Wing King is in Chicago, so we're on the same time zone. So right now we communicating and analyzing. If you got apps, or if you have awareness of how things are moving planetary wise, then you can look at those things instead of looking to see it's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. See, time here is money. Time there is not. So it's taking your understanding of time and just kind of adding something else to it. Instead of making your decisions because it's 3 o'clock or the banks close at 6, make your decision because you need some income. Make a move during Venus time.
No doubt. Planetary Times application is on Google and it's on Apple Store. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people might not feel like the necessary need to pay attention to astrology, and I feel the need not to pay attention to soccer, and ain't nobody gonna force me to pay attention to soccer. So we not necessarily forcing you to pay attention to astrology or saying how important astrology is versus other things, but what we are saying is how astrology helps us out, and not that we just came across astrology and just started this YouTube channel and just started talking about it. We've actually been building and talking about this stuff over and over and over again to get some consistency and get some type of idea. So I think we're gonna finish it off with this last question from Apollo. He says, going back to what you said from receiving spiritual gifts on our birthdays, if we feel like we haven't fully realized those gifts past birthdays, can we recover them somehow? And so the best way that I can answer that question is in our examination of astrology of Saturn conjunct Pluto. We have opened ourselves up to the quantum realm. In the quantum realm, time doesn't fully exist like we think it does on a linear time stamp. What you experience, whether it's in the past or in the future, you experience it presently. And this is something that we've came to the conclusion based upon studying the astrology, but it has real world effects. A lot of people are feeling symptoms from past life, future life, all of these things converging, and you need to be in accordance to that. And so that's how I can answer your question. Maybe Honcho has a different way of answering it.
Gifts are trines, by the way. So every time you hear us talking about a trine, that is a gift, something that you have that most people don't, or that other people would consider something that you're good at that they're not, but you don't see it as that. That's a gift. That's a trine. So how do you take advantage of your gifts on your birthday? Think about all of the things that people tell you that you're good at, that you don't consider being good at, and take their opinion as fact. That's first step. Taking someone else's opinion as fact and working on that gift. Second thing is, if you feel as though your birthday's passed, you didn't miss anything outside of just being aware that was there. Now that you are aware that it's there, what is the gift that you think that you have that you're not good at? And then from there, whatever that gift is, let's say that gift is rapping. You can freestyle, you know what I'm saying? But everybody told you was good freestyler, but you ain't never wrote no lyrics down, or you never went to the studio, or you never done anything like that. But you can freestyle really good. This may be that gift. And so instead of looking like you missed it, no, you didn't miss it, you just didn't go to the studio. Go to the studio. Practice on your craft. Practice on your gift. No matter what you have, you got to practice at it. Whether it's a gift, an opportunity, sextile, opposition, it doesn't matter what you have to practice it. You have to master it. Everything is about mastery. You know what I mean? You might not necessarily have to put in 10,000 hours or 10 years, but it's definitely about putting in the effort towards mastering whatever it is that you consider a gift. So write out that thing that you say you missed, if whatever it is, write it out and go and do a study on all of the things you could acquire to make yourself better at that gift, and then practice implementing it into your subconscious. Practice implementing it on moon cycles, seeing if you can lock that energy in on a new moon cycle all the way to the next new moon cycle. See if you can lock that gift into your ability. Like if you rapping, go write down some lyrics for the next 28 days, and then go do that song on the next new moon. And then on the full moon, by the full moon, you should have it edited, mastered, mixed, and put out on the full moon, because that's when you're supposed to be letting everybody know what you're doing. And just follow that same moon cycle with implementing your gift into your life.
No doubt.
Because you can have a gift and not be good at it, but anything that you're not good at is just a matter of practice. How many hours have you put in to become good? We don't just wake up good. Some of us do, but that's not everybody.
Right. We can all learn to be better.
Yeah.
Yo, so, you know what I'm saying? Good show. We've been rapping for about an hour, man. And we'll be back probably next Sunday for episode 9 of the Cosmic Weathermen. This has been your weekly astrology forecast. Keep your questions for next week, and we'll be back, to answer those questions. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Honcho, how can they reach you if they need to reach you, brother?
At Honcho Buildinair on Instagram. This week I will have YouTube's coming. I have videos coming. We finna be fire in a minute. So we just kind of like working with the energies as much as possible. But definitely through my Instagram. And next week I have some things for you guys on YouTube. And like I said, you'll have a daily tarot astrology reader from me coming soon. And you'll see a lot more Honcho coming out. Man.
Check me out, www.hoodmystic.com. If you didn't know, if you got any questions you want to talk, hoodmystic@gmail.com. Be sure to get the books, Manipulating the Matrix, written by the set, me, Shireen, and Honcho. Be sure to get my book, How to Read Natal Charts Easily and Effectively. This thing is going up. Share this video. Make sure people get to this information if they can't get to it naturally. Thanks for all of y'all support, and we'll be here next Sunday to do the same thing, same time. Cosmic Weathermen, weekly Vedic astrology forecast, episode 8, and we signing out. Peace.